Find even more drawing tips inside the pages of the Phoenix comic, along with great stories and more. Drawing an entire space station may sound daunting, but they're actually deceptively simple when you break them down to their core shapes. You see, something like the International Space Station that orbits the Earth is really just a collection of cylinders and rectangles. We'll start by constructing a set of building blocks. Building blocks are a series of basic shapes we use to construct a set of guides from which to create our final drawing. First, draw a cylinder and then add a smaller oval and a curve at either end, and then join everything up, erasing any unwanted lines. Next, draw 2 more cylinders, but facing the opposite direction, either side of your original shape. At this stage, I recommend drawing your guides really lightly so you can erase any unwanted lines. Add 2 more cylinders, this time pointing upward, on top of your emerging structure. Now, repeat this process in any combination you wish to form the basic structure of your space station. Don't worry about adding any detail yet, we'll get to that later. Now that the main structure is in place, let's move on to the solar panels. First, draw a slanted rectangle, divide it up into sections, and then erase any unwanted lines. Next, draw a hexagonal tube between the top and bottom panels, and then connect them together with a simple line. Use the exact same process to draw another set of solar panels on the other side of your structure, and your building blocks are done. Now you may have noticed that I'm working on a computer, which offers me 2 distinct advantages. One, I can zoom in on my drawing when adding finer details, and secondly, I can work on multiple layers. I'm going to turn the opacity down on my guides to make them fainter, and then create a new layer for my final lines. If you're using pencil and paper, then either draw your guides really lightly and erase them afterwards, or overlay a second piece of paper on top of your guides and draw over them to save rubbing out. Before we start adding too many details, let's start by fleshing out our main outline. Pretty much just tracing over the building block guides, but with a more definite line. We're also going to need to fill in a few blank spaces in between the cylinders. Now let's add some details to our main structure, like heat shield panels, windows, satellite dishes, contour lines, antennas, and extra solar panels. If you want to, you can add these details as you draw in your main outline. In fact, you may find this easier if you're working traditionally. Next, flesh out your solar panels by dividing them up, adding sections and adding a repeating hexagonal pattern to the central tube. To divide up your panels equally, I find it easier to divide the panel in half first, then half again, and then half again. Now, let's add a docking space shuttle to our drawing. Again, let's start with the building blocks. Draw a cylinder that narrows at the end. Add a pointy nose and dividing lines. Then, the wings and thrusters before using your guide to create your final shuttle, adding little details like a flag on the wing, a cockpit, and a black nose. Finally, let's make it look like our space station is in orbit around the Earth. Draw a curved line for the Earth and then a small circle for the Moon. Add texture to both by using squiggly lines. Finish things off with dots for stars. And that's it, you're done. We'd love to see your space stations, so why not send them into the Phoenix and they might appear inside the comic. Till next time. For more how to draw tutorials, make sure you like this video and then subscribe to our channel. You can also find even more drawing tips inside the pages of the Phoenix comic, along with great stories and more. Click the link in the description below to find out how you can get the Phoenix delivered straight to your door every week.